Have you ever wondered why Africa remains in debt despite its vast resources? In this tutorial, we will uncover the truth behind Africa's debt crisis. The end goal is to understand the mechanisms behind this financial entrapment and envision a path forward. First, let's explore the banking illusion. Banks create money from thin air through credit creation. When global institutions lend to African nations, they are not providing real money. Instead, they issue digital forms of currency, exerting control over policies and national assets. Next, we look at the timeline of entrapment. African independence in the 1960s sparked hope for self-reliance. However, Western powers reintroduced economic control through deceptive lending. By the 1980s, structural adjustment programs placed nations under heavy restrictions, weakening local economies. Now we will analyze case studies that illustrate these dynamics. In Ghana, early independence dreams faded into IMF dependency. Nigeria remains debt-burdened despite its oil wealth, with over 90% of revenue going to debt service. Zambia, rich in copper, defaults on loans while foreign companies reap profits. These cases highlight debt as a neocolonial weapon, controlling economies without military intervention. Next, we examine the moral framing of debt. Debt is portrayed as a moral obligation, but it serves as a tool for subjugation. The narrative shifts from liberation to compliance with global financial norms. Finally, we discuss the potential future with the African Monetary Fund. Africa can break free by creating independent financial institutions. We need low-interest loans backed by African resources with no strings attached. By developing a pan-African digital currency, Africa can reclaim its economic sovereignty. In summary, Africa's debt is a construct crafted by external forces, not a sign of weakness. True liberation comes from recognizing the illusion of debt and fostering self-sufficiency. I encourage you to share this knowledge and challenge the narratives surrounding Africa's economic destiny. The consequences of this financial entrapment cannot be overstated. As debt continues to build, vital resources that should support education, healthcare, and infrastructure are redirected to service these loans, leaving communities in dire straits. Young Africans, filled with potential, find opportunities stifled by a system that prefers profit over progress, hampering innovation and growth. As we delve deeper, we must confront the role of international corporations in this dynamic. Often, these entities exploit Africa's resources while contributing little to local economies, facilitating a cycle of dependency. They are adept at navigating tax loopholes, transferring profits offshore, and leaving behind a marginalized workforce that struggles for fair wages. Amid this backdrop, grassroots movements are emerging, advocating for change and sustainable practices. Communities are rallying together, demanding accountability from their governments and the international systems that govern them. These movements create spaces for dialogue, allowing Africans to reclaim their agency and redefine their economic narratives, fostering a sense of unity and shared purpose across the continent. Yet, to catalyze lasting change, collaboration among nations is essential. African leaders must unite in a collective vision fostering economic resilience and self-determination. This solidarity can challenge exploitative practices, enabling the continent to negotiate better terms on loans and investments. Furthermore, investing in local entrepreneurship and technology can spur innovation, helping create jobs and reducing reliance on foreign entities. As citizens become more aware of their power, they can drive meaningful change by supporting initiatives that prioritize sustainability and equitable growth. This holistic approach not only aims to dismantle the existing debt structures, but also builds a robust economic framework that benefits all. By empowering the younger generation, Africa can harness its diverse talents, paving the way for a more prosperous and independent future. Together, as a united people, the continent can work towards breaking these shackles, creating a more equitable global narrative rooted in respect, dignity, and shared success. This vision for a future where African nations thrive autonomously is not just a dream, it is an attainable reality, and it begins with collective action today. As these grassroots movements gain momentum, their impact becomes increasingly visible in policy discussions and national dialogues. The stories of those affected by debt and foreign exploitation are now being heard, resonating with a wider audience both locally and globally. This shift in narrative is crucial for dismantling the stigma surrounding Africa's economic aspirations, showcasing the continent not as a charity case, but as a hub of innovation and resilience. True liberation is within reach when we unite to reshape our economic future, transforming Africa into a formidable force on the global stage. Through collaboration, innovation, and the reclamation of resources, we can turn the tide, assuring that Africa's rich potential is harnessed for the benefit of its people.